What's up, you guys? My name is Noah. So today I wanted to talk about your future president, Kamala Harris. Just kidding. I hope not. Lord Jesus, I hope not. Nah, but we're going to dig in a little bit to Kamala Harris, talk a little bit about the funniest moments involving Kamala Harris, the cringiest moments involving Kamala Harris. We're going to talk about being unburdened by what has been and that glorious cackle, of course. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Let's grow this channel, trying to get it out there. Please share this around and let's get into it. Anyway, Kamala's a big subject right now, and it's very possible that she's going to be our president, you guys. That's really concerning. She went from being so unpopular to now everyone on social media is posting that same picture of her. You know what I'm talking about? That picture of her, like in her pantsuit that says, "I'm with her." Like, get out of here, dude. None of you liked her. No one said anything about this woman. And now it's, "I'm with her." For the sake of all women and people of color everywhere, I hope she wins. Dude, it's scary how easy it is to sway the masses. Kamala went from being extremely unpopular to being the candidate for the Democrats to possibly even becoming our next president. A bunch of rich people were like, put her in. And now everybody that didn't care a thing about her is talking about how great she is. So according to an NBC News poll from June of 2023, only 32% of registered voters had a positive view of Kamala Harris. We know NBC simps for the Democrats. Even NBC News said that Kamala's net negative 17 rating was the lowest for any vice president in the history of the poll. Nobody liked her. I'm actually shocked that they replaced Biden with her because she was so unpopular. But look at what the media is doing for her right now. Look at the way they've just pushed her out there. They just start throwing money at the wall. So I pay for my YouTube subscription, but my girlfriend doesn't. And she's constantly seeing Harris ads. My old man is constantly seeing Harris ads. Everyone I know is constantly seeing Harris ads. They're trying so hard to make this woman popular. And it's crazy because there's people out there that will fall right in line. All the establishment has to do is say, "You better like this person." And then they're like, "I like this person." Because you told me to! It's bizarre, dude. It's brain rot, dude. I want them to come to salvation, but I do not want her to be the president. So everything about this woman is fake. Kamala Harris is nothing but an empty pantsuit of a politician. Very similar to Joe Biden. And I was going to say she can talk better than Joe Biden.
Well, I think culture is a reflection of our moment and our time, right? And present culture is the way we express how we're feeling about the moment. And we should always find times to express how we feel about the moment that is a reflection of joy, because it comes in the morning.
I don't know. Maybe she can't. It's so bizarre the way that they could just take Joe Biden, dispose of him, and just throw her in. Some people are calling it a coup. I don't know if I'd call it a coup. But, I mean, dude, it's crazy. Like, the voters didn't vote for her to be president. Why is she the nominee? You know why? Because rich people said she was the nominee. The Democrat Party accuses the Republican Party of not being democratic. And then look what they do. It's always the pot calling the kettle black with these people. No pun intended. Kamala has nothing of substance to say. There's a lot of people that are calling her like far left, communist, and dude, I don't even know if that's true because she just says what she thinks appeals to the people she's trying to appeal to. There's this like super cringe artsy video of her talking about equity. Actually, let's check it out real quick.
So there's a big difference between equality and equity. Equality suggests, oh, everyone should get the same amount. The problem with that, not everybody's starting out from the same place. So if we're all getting the same amount, but you started out back there and I started out over here, we could get the same amount, but you're still gonna be that far back behind me.
She does not talk like that, but you still gonna be that far back behind me. She doesn't talk like that, dude. Listen to her talk any other time, and she doesn't talk like that. It's only when she's trying to appeal to black people. I'm finna tell you right now why we like equity.
It's about giving people the resources and the support they need so that everyone can be on equal footing and then compete on equal footing. Equitable treatment means we all end up at the same place.
Equity is terrible. Almost as terrible as that video, but not quite. Equity is impossible. There's no way that every person can end up at the same place. There's too many variables. The best we can do is allow everybody to start from the same place. That's the best we can do. If we want to work on equality, cool. And even then, I mean, even equality is questionable, honestly, because we're not all the same. We're all different. Like when we're talking men and women, I don't believe men and women play the same roles in society. I'm not saying men and women shouldn't be able to do the same things if we want to, but the point is, we are not equal. We're equally as important, but we are not the same. And so even when we're talking about equality, it's impossible for us to even start at the same place. I mean, yeah, we should do our best to make it to where we can all start at the same place, but there's absolutely no way that we can all end at the same place. It's just communist garbage.
If he openly declares himself to be a communist, we take his word for it.
And I don't even think she believes it. I think she's pandering. I really do just think she's pandering. I think she's saying what she needs to say. She thought that would appeal to the black community. That's why she started talking like this right here.
You know. Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets.
Anyway, either way, it's bad. If she actually does believe in trying to achieve equitable outcomes for everybody, then that's really bad. But if she doesn't believe that and she's just lying, that's also really bad. See, that's the thing about Trump, dude. When Trump talked, we knew he was saying what he wanted to say. He's probably going to call Rosie O'Donnell a dog, call some lady fat and ugly. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I'm just saying he said what he wanted to say. And that's why so many people appreciated Donald Trump. You have a lot of the left that, oh, he says this, he says that, he needs to act this way. Dude, people are tired of the acting. People don't want to see politicians act a certain way. We want realism. We want the truth. We want people to be real. If you're rough around the edges, at least you're being honest. That's how a lot of people feel now. That's one of the reasons things like television are taking a big hit. People are getting into things like podcasts. People just love that real, raw, like authenticity, you know? That's not what you get with people like Kamala Harris or people like Joe Biden. It's just fake. They're actors. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of that go around, people calling Kamala Harris a communist. I just don't even know if that's true. I think that Kamala Harris is an establishment puppet that will do anything she is told to do. That's what I believe. I don't know if you guys have seen that meme, that equity meme. Here, I'll put it up. It's telling the truth. See, with equity, you're not helping anybody. You're handicapping society. I talked about this in a previous video because I'm salty about it, honestly, because I love Lord of the Rings. But Rings of Power is terrible because it's all a bunch of diversity hires for the sake of equity.
What's it doing? It ruins it.
It's not about meritocracy. It's not about being good at what you do. It's not about being the best. It's about being the right race, the right gender, having the right sexual orientation. Why is that what we care about? If you're going to take my favorite IP and you're going to make a television show out of it, please hire the best people for the job so it's good. This is why Hollywood is tanking right now. Disney is tanking right now. Rings of Power tanked. It did so bad. What, it had like I think it was like a 36 or 37% retention rate. Like, it was so bad. And then on top of that, they throw in all the black diversity characters and they start doing all these press briefings about, oh, the first dwarf of color. Oh, the first female dwarf. It's like, dude, we don't care.
The fact that you are the first black woman to be a dwarf in Tolkien, the first woman to be a dwarf in Tolkien, what do we learn about woman dwarves that we didn't know through your portrayal?
Well, we learned that they exist.
Just make the story good. Put in the people that are supposed to be in there. You want to make a new TV show with black dwarves? Do it. Go for it. Just use the best ones. You know what I mean? Use the best actors. It's so irritating. I don't even go to the movies anymore. I know there's a movie coming out in September. It's that Matt Walsh movie, Am I Racist or Am I a Racist? Dude, I can almost guarantee you the theaters are going to be popping when that comes out because people can finally go see something good. But people are tired of the garbage content. They're tired of this, like, I mean, Kamala herself is a diversity hire. Do you remember when they were asking Biden who his VP was going to be? And he was like, I'm going to choose a black woman.
Are you committed to naming a black woman as your vice presidential running mate?
I am not committed to naming any but the people I've named, and among them there are 4 black women.
It's like, how about you just choose someone that's good at what they do, bro? Equity ruins everything. They are not helping by giving people positions that they don't deserve. All they're doing is hurting the people that do deserve the positions. That's why that meme is just perfect. Equity sucks. And of course, we cannot have a video of Kamala without talking about her cackle. That beautiful, beautiful cackle. See, it's things like this that made her unappealing. And so when she was running for president in 2020, she tanked. No one wanted her. Tulsi Gabbard smoked her, dude. Let's watch that.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
Got him. Yeah, that right there was the moment that Kamala Harris just went bye-bye, dude. Tulsi Gabbard smoked her. And I don't even agree with a lot of what Tulsi Gabbard was saying. Not that it wasn't true, but there are a lot of liberal talking points, you know what I mean? But she made Kamala look really, really bad. She was talking about Kamala's actual record, the things that Kamala actually did. It's one thing to pander to the emotions of your base, but what we need to be looking at is the actions. Trump is a perfect example of that too. He runs his mouth a lot. He says a lot of wild things. But look what he did as president. He was a phenomenal president. You can talk all day long. I want to see what you're capable of. Kamala, I don't want you to talk all day long, though. I take that back. Please don't. Because you'll probably laugh every 5 seconds and talk about Venn diagrams and about being unburdened by what has been.
Right?
Yeah, no. But yeah, so when that happened, Kamala basically just disappeared and nobody would have missed her. And if it weren't for Joe Biden having to hire a woman of color, Kamala wouldn't even be running for president right now. Even as she was the vice president, nobody liked her. She was put in charge of the border. They named her the border czar. And I can tell you right now, the job site I work at is full of people that aren't from America. Yeah, she's the border czar and did nothing about the border at all. And now the media is trying to gaslight us and tell us that she was never even the border czar. I will prove it right now.
Quote unquote border czar. Vice President Harris was not a border czar.
Meantime, Vice President and border czar Kamala Harris facing some backlash.
What he said about Harris and immigration was not true. She was never appointed border czar.
And this will be her first visit to the U.S.-Mexico border region since she was appointed as the border czar by President Biden.
People are going to have to counter the misinformation. You already hear folks talking about the border czar. She wasn't the border czar.
President Biden tapped Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, to be the border czar.
Now, she wasn't the border czar. That's what Republicans labeled her.
They were very critical of Kamala Harris, especially in her role as border czar.
Now what she's up against is folks lying about her border record, calling her a border czar.
Kamala Harris, who was appointed as the border czar.
The Biden team didn't declare her the border czar. They wanted her to work on kind of the root causes of immigration.
There has been so much criticism against Kamala Harris. You know, she was the border czar.
Calling her sort of the border czar, which wasn't necessarily the case.
So the border, if they weren't planning to address it in a major way, do not make her your border czar. She met with some of the Northern Triangle countries, but nothing has effectively changed.
Not only are they trying to gaslight you into thinking that Kamala is this extremely successful, very likable person that was chosen by the grassroots people, but they're also trying to gaslight you into thinking that she was never the border czar. It's so disingenuous. It's almost laughable. And what's concerning is that there's so many people in America that don't realize this. Like, dude, sadly, I don't think all Americans are stupid, but there's so many people in America that are just oblivious, and they're all allowed to vote. All the elite Democrats have to do is say, she was chosen by the grassroots. All of the Democrat voters are like, well, she was chosen by the grassroots, when she objectively was not chosen by the grassroots. They tried everything they could to stop Trump. All the charges, the convictions, defaming him, and then even the me thinks there was more to it than they're letting on. But if it weren't for missing and hitting the ear, praise you, Jesus, because it was definitely Jesus. But if it weren't for that, Joe Biden never would have even dropped out. In my opinion, it was just a last resort. Biden was doing so bad in the polls, they had to do something. So they boot the old man.
You just can't wait for me to die, can you?
And then bring in fresh, unlikable Kamala, and they start their media propaganda campaign to just boost her numbers and lie to the base and lie to the American people. Oh, she was chosen by the grassroots. That's a lie. Listen to what Hakeem Jeffries says. If you don't know who he is, by the way, I'm pretty sure he's the House Minority Leader. But this man is such a liar. He's just like Kamala. These Democrats are all so similar. Kamala, Biden, Hakeem Jeffries. They will all say what they need to say, whether it is true or untrue. There's no accountability. That's the thing about people that aren't religious. When you're your own God, you can say whatever you want. You're not accountable to anybody. Anyway, yeah, listen to what he says right here, okay? Because it's all lies.
Kamala Harris and her candidacy has excited and energized the House Democratic Caucus, the Democratic Party, and the nation. Vice President Harris has earned the nomination from the grassroots up and not the top down. She is ready, she is willing, she is able to energetically and emphatically lead America into the future.
Why did he feel the need to say that? You know what I mean? She earned it from the grassroots up, not from the top down. Why would you need to say that? We know that that's how the system works. But the reason he's saying that is because that's not what happened. He has to gaslight the people into thinking that's what happened. Dude, we know this decision was made behind closed doors. All of the elites of the party were like, hey, Biden's tanking. We need to put someone else in. They put her in. It wasn't the grassroots. They just lie. Now let's listen to the Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer.
So now that the process is played out, from the grassroots bottom up, we are here today to throw our support behind Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm clapping. You don't have to.
Good, I won't. How cringe, dude. Just a side note, that man is related to Amy Schumer. I think they're like cousins or something. Go figure. Whoever would have thought? Let's look at these comments, just out of curiosity. This person said, it's fitting. The number of people who clapped is the same number of people who voted for her, if you don't count Schumer clapping. This person said, she wasn't even a contender in 2020. Her reputation has only gotten worse since. 2024 is Trump's year. Lord, I hope so. This person said there is going to be epic levels of propaganda. Yeah, that's what we're seeing right now. It's like scary levels of propaganda. You know what? Let's go back and read what the comments say on this Hakeem Jeffries video too. I'm curious. The comments say, smile and consume. Yeah. Yep. This person said, as an outsider, I'm confused. Isn't there meant to be a nomination process with nominees, plural? Doesn't sound very democratic if there is only one nominee and 0 votes. This person said, they'll tell you the exact opposite of the truth, then call you a racist for disagreeing with them. Yep. This person said, it's a great story. We know how she got there, though. So true, dude. Isn't that right, Kamala? Music to my ears. Please don't leave the video. It's so crazy to see the way that we are lied to and just manipulated. We're fed all of this propaganda, just like spoon-fed, like, eat this propaganda. You know what? Here's what's cool. I want you to think about this, okay? We live in a time where we have this whole establishment rising up against us, and like at least half of America doesn't buy it, even though they're basically in charge of everything. They have Hollywood, all of the giant propaganda news corporations. They have all of the 3-letter agencies, and yet still there's like half of America that doesn't buy it, which is kind of nice to see. It's scary to see how many people do, but it's pretty nice to know that, like, wow, they have all of this power and we're still like, nah, no. I mean, when you think about it, us Americans, we came from some pretty wild people. We came from people that did not trust the government, and they were willing to fight. It's pretty cool to see that half of America still has that dog in them. They got that dog in them. Of course, this would not be a Kamala Harris video without us reflecting on what can be, unburdened by what has been. What can be, unburdened by what has been. Yeah, this is absolutely beautiful. She has a way with words, it sounds almost poetic. Let's watch this together.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know?
What can be, unburdened by what has been. What can be, unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
What we can see, what we believe can be, unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Who we can be unburdened by who we have been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Where we can be unburdened by where we have been and unburdened by where we are right now. What can be.
Oh, she mixed it up there.
Unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been. What could be unburdened by what had been.
What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Unburdened by what has been, believing in what can be.
What can be
oh, Lord.
Unburdened by what has been.
What can
How
be
long
unburdened
is this?
by what has been.
Oh my gosh, it's 3 minutes and 30 seconds long. Dude, we are not watching that whole video. I thought it was like 30 seconds. That's 3 minutes and 30 seconds long. That's how much she says that. That's how much she talks about what we can be, unburdened by what has been. Like, that's wild. Let's look at these comments. I can't wait. This person said, "What does that mean?" This other person responded, "It means the U.S. is doomed." Oh, you guys, please don't vote for her. Please don't vote for Kamala. You're not going to get anything different if you vote for Kamala than you were getting from Joe Biden. They're just the same people taking the same orders. It's just the same party. It's like, please, please. It's the same party. This person said, "I hope she wins just for lols." Yeah. Oh, man. This person said this would be a tragedy for America. I mean, yeah, dude, it would. Truthfully, I do not feel any more concerned about Kamala being the president than I did Biden. It's equally as bad, in my opinion. I don't think it really makes much of a difference. Anyway, so we're going to watch one more clip of Kamala stealing a story from Martin Luther King Jr. Watch this.
And then my mother would tell a funny story about how, like, one day and I was fussing, and you know, and so I'm fussing and fussing. It's much cuter when she would tell the story, but she'd say, so then she would look down at me and, "Kamala, what do you want? What do you want?" And I looked back up at her and I said, "Freedom."
Oh. Give us freedom from that cackle. Yeah. This person, the person that posted it, Greg Price, flashback to the time Kamala Harris claimed she told her mother that she wanted freedom when she was a child at a civil rights march, but the entire story was plagiarized from MLK. And it was. This is the New York Post, and they talk about it right here. Look at all these ads. My goodness. Dismiss. Get out of here. It says, the interview, while months old, resurfaced on Twitter this week, when multiple users noticed the uncanny similarities the story had to the one told by MLK during a January 1965 interview with Playboy magazine. In the piece, the civil rights icon recalled a moment he witnessed between a young black girl and a white police officer. Quote, "I will never forget a moment in Birmingham when a white policeman accosted a little Negro girl." Can I say that? 7 or 8 years old, who was walking in a demonstration with her mother, King told the magazine. "What do you want?" the policeman asked her gruffly, and the little girl looked at him straight in the eye and answered, "Feed 'em." he continued. She couldn't even pronounce it, but she knew. It was beautiful. Many times when I have been in sorely trying situations, the memory of that little one has come into my mind and buoyed me? Buoyed me? That's not what's important. What's important is that Kamala Harris stole that. Anyway, let's wrap this video up. I just want to say this woman is inauthentic. She is a liar. She's not to be trusted. Her laugh is absolutely horrendous. And you should not vote for her. She is an empty pantsuit of a politician saying what needs to be said. She's for the establishment. She's not for the people. And of course, the media is going to call us racist and sexist, but we don't care anymore, dude. We don't care. Nobody cares. Call us all the istophobes. We don't care. It's about the fact that she is fake. She's a liar. She should have never even been the vice president, let alone the president. Let's get Trump in there.
We have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
Anyway, I just wanted to watch some of these cringiest moments with you guys, laugh about it a little bit, cry about it a little bit, and please comment down below. Tell me what you think. Do you think she's awesome? Do you think she's going to bring us freedom? Or do you think she's a liar and that she's going to drive America off a cliff and probably headfirst into World War III? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for hanging out, you guys, and I will see you on the next one.